Question number 1 is in the name of Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Does he stand by his statement yesterday that the Hon John Banks is a, quote, credible and, quote, trustworthy individual?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, yes.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
If he believes John Banks is a credible and trustworthy individual, why did he accept his resignation as a minister, given that Mr. Banks continues to insist he's done nothing wrong, nothing to fear, nothing to hide?
Honourable Bill
Mr.
English.
Speaker, because Mr. Banks indicated, on behalf of the Prime Minister, Mr. Banks indicated to the Office of the Prime Minister late last week that in the event the judge ruled against him, he would tender his resignation as a minister. The judge ruled against him, he kept his word and tendered his resignation as a minister.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Given his statement yesterday that he would reinstate Mr. Banks as a minister if he managed to avoid a trial, can he confirm that he regards Mr. Banks's conduct as acceptable for ministers who are part of his government?
Honourable
Speaker,
Bill English.
The member has misrepresented what the Prime Minister said yesterday.
Supplementary question,
Supplementary
Mr. Speaker.
question, Grant Robertson.
Can he confirm that Mr. Banks' actions make him acceptable to be a minister in his government?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the member may have noticed Mr. Banks is not a minister in the current government.
Supplementary question, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Isn't it the case that the Prime Minister is the last person left in New Zealand who thinks that John Banks is credible and trustworthy, and that he is only saying that because he desperately needs to cling to that political corpse to prop up his government?
Order. Honourable Bill English on behalf of the
Mr.
Prime
Speaker,
Minister.
for the benefit of the member, if he looks at the confidence and supply agreements which are publicly available, the Prime Minister commands a majority of 64 votes to 57 in this Parliament. No single vote is critical to the government. And secondly, if legal proceedings continue as indicated yesterday, and Mr. Banks does go to trial, he will benefit, as every other New Zealand citizen does, from the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. The Labor Party may know the result already. Fortunately, the legal system is more even-handed.
Question, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question, Grant Robertson.
Does he now regret refusing to read the police report into John Banks filing a false electoral return, given that he had all the information he needed to know that Mr. Banks should resign as a minister last September, but he failed to act on it?
The Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, no. The correct way of handling allegations, that someone has not complied with the law is through the legal process.
Order. Question number 2, Materia Ture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tēnā koutou te whare.